Okay. So I was saying when writing a problem statement, ensure that you consider writing the ideal situation, which is basically, the world we wish to have or the situation we wish to have if the problem was not there. But then the current situation is the second point that you need to write. Make sure you show us what is happening currently. And thirdly, you need to show us, the consequences of us not addressing that problem. And those are short-term consequences, and long-term consequences. What really can happen if we don't attend to this problem? And finally, show us what your research is going to do, what your research is going to do about that, that problem. What really are you going to do, or what is your contribution, you know, to the conversation as a researcher? So that is how it is done. Okay, that is how it is done. Is there any question? Do we have a question on part one? The 4 points. I will show you the example. Yes, you can ask the question.
I just missed the last part, the fourth part.
What your research is going to do. What really will be the contribution of your research? These are the 4 key points that you consider whenever writing a problem statement. Is that clear?
Clear.
Okay. Then now we could move on to part B of the question. It says, with reference to your program of study, present a research topic. The aim of the study or the research and the 3 research objectives. The aim of the study and the 3 research objectives. So we are going to start with we can start with the Janet. I mean, you wrote this assignment that your lecturer gave you. What is your research topic? What was your research topic?
I need to check, sir. I forgot it.
You have forgotten it. Okay. Wow, interesting. But you should be able to remember such. What if you meet such a question in an exam? And it should be just on your fingertip. You get what I mean, eh? Yeah. Muyunda, are you in the same case as well? We want your research topic. Hmm? Is Muyunda there nearby?
I am here, sir. I am here.
What is your research topic?
I'm in the same shoes.
Okay. Jasila George, what about you?
It was a long one, sir.
It was a long one. Do you remember anything?
Yeah, it had to do with the relationship between financial literacy and business performance among Mwanja MSMEs in Nalolo and Senanga districts.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it was a long one.
It was a long one. Interesting. And what about who is this one? Yvonne?
Good evening, sir.
Yes, welcome.
My topic was assessing the major causes of road construction project delays in Zambia, a case study of rural feeder roads in Kitwe.
Oh, okay. Were you there in the previous class? I remember hearing something related to that.
Yes, I was. Yes, I was.
Okay.
I gave you my topic the last session.
Yeah. And actually, you did not present in that class, you remember?
Yes, unfortunately, we
Yes.
ran out of time.
Oh, yeah. So now tell us your research aim. What was the research aim?
So the aim of this it was To investigate the major causes of road construction project delays in Zambia. I just repeated because the lecturer in class told us the aim is you just repeat your topic.
It's the same research topic, yeah.
Yes.
Then the
Then
research objectives, the specific objectives.
I have 3 objectives. The first one is to identify common causes of rural feeder road construction delays in Kitwe. The second one is to assess the impact of these delays on rural communities. And the third one is to propose solutions for timely project completion.
Okay. So let's start from the second objective. The first one, we are good. But first of all, actually, let me get back to the same one. The first one you said it is to identify.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll come back to this one. Identify, then this one I heard something like impact.
To assess
You were
the
assessing.
impact. Yes.
And then the last one you were proposing.
Proposing a solution.
Okay. No, next time. All right. So back to the word identify, Yvonne. You know the word identify, how we use it? This one is from explorative studies. You get it, right? I guess I'm communicating in the class. You use this for explorative studies where you are exploring. And explorative studies are not quantitative. They can't go with the word assess. Remember your question. Your question was assessment, right? You're assessing something, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
It's about assessment. Assessment shows that your study is quantitative. That is a quantitative study. So being a quantitative study, you cannot identify. You can't identify. You can only identify in a qualitative study. Okay, we'll still come back to that. Don't worry. I'll show you how to put it so that it can sit well. Then when it comes to, which one is this? Assessing the impact. How long will be your study, first of all? What will be the duration?
I didn't think that far, so I was just doing it for submission
For,
purposes.
for submission purposes, I see. Okay. Anyways, you avoid using this word. This word is a very big word in research. Impact. We don't just need to use these words, yeah, we need to use them somehow. Yeah, you see, the word impact can be used if you are going to conduct a research for a long period of time. It's over time. You can't see the impact for those short-term studies like 1 year, 6 months. You can't say you are, assessing the impact. Do you know how impactive studies are done? Those are studies that are repeated maybe every after 5 years, where you are checking the impact. For example, you're evaluating, you propose solutions, right? For example, you design policy. Then you roll it out. You let it start working, functioning. You have it implemented. Then you want to check after 5 years how it has worked. You get it, right? Has there been any improvement or whatever? So during that period of time, so you give some window, you give some time period. It's a long-term study. You get what I mean? So that is when we use the word impact. But for these short ones, you can't use the word impact. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
We'll give you examples of some impactive studies, like the one that is done by Finiscope. You know, Finiscope, they do the study actually in collaboration with the Bank of Zambia every after 5 years. They do the national survey just to check the financial stance of the entire country, checking the financial literacy levels, among others. That's what they do. They do that every after 5 years. Okay. So they do that, they propose policy, then they come to check every after 5 years. Those you can properly say you're looking for the impact. Why? Because the time period is justifying. Okay. I guess the class has learned something. Don't use this word anyhow, right? It's a very, very big word. Impact. Then you said you wanted to propose solution. To propose solution is not really an objective on its own, a specific objective. You know why? Because every research has a section for recommendation. Is that true? Yes. Every normal research is supposed to have a chapter for recommendation, isn't it? And you're always recommending according to what? You are always recommending according to the according to the to what your research has given you, according to the results. Okay. So since it's an obvious, how should I put it so that you understand it? It's an obvious thing that every normal research, after you've studied, then you have to make the recommendation. In short, you have to propose solutions to that same problem, isn't it? Those are recommendations. Yvonne, you're following, right?
Yes, I am.
Yes, and I guess the entire class is supposed to be following. The entire class is supposed to be following. Mr. Elijah, you have a question? I've seen your mic is on. Okay. All right. Is there any question from anyone on the objectives? Before I add some more points to take home. Then your study, you could make it a mixed study if you want to maintain the word identify. You get what I mean, eh? Unless you make it a mixed study. And this now leads me to this part of the question. Which question is that? Question 1D. You're following, eh? I've gone a little bit backward. There is a question here, 1D. You're able to see it, isn't it? It says, can you describe a mixed model research? a mixed model research. Now, a mixed model research, this is a research that combines both two aspects of quantitative or quantifiable characteristics and the qualitative, which are qualifiable characteristics of it. So in short, there are some aspects of research, that cannot easily be measured, right? Such as the views, opinions of people, feelings, ideas. You get it, right? If you are assessing maybe how people are feeling, you are assessing, you want to get people's opinions, you're asking them what they think, okay? You are getting views, ideas from the people. Those you can't easily measure, you can't quantify. So, which means those can be tackled under a qualitative study. Qualitative study simply means you're measuring things, you are studying issues that cannot easily be measured using numbers. Is that clear? Then the quantitative part of it, you are dealing with issues that can be measured using numbers. So if you are doing a mixed study combines these two. You get what I mean? So you could see even in the objective, for example, your first objective is the qualitative part of it, where you are identifying. So there is a bit of some exploration. And then there is a part where you are assessing. Where you were assessing the impact, you can assess the effect. You can remove impact, you put effect, for example. Assess the effect of like that. You get what I mean, eh? Then you can look for a new third objective. So a mixed study captures these, it has both the quantitative part of it and also the qualitative part of it. That's why it is called a mixed model research. So it is a kind of research where you want to be very holistic in your approach, where you want to consider almost everything, all aspects, both those that are measurable and those that are non-quantifiable, or those that cannot easily be quantified, those characteristics. Is there any question?
No, sir. On my end, no.
Okay. All right. So if there are no questions, then we can get to, let me show you an example. Yeah. Let me show you an example. Now, before I show you an example, if you're following properly, a research proposal usually, or research methods, deals with these three sections of a research, three chapters actually. Chapter 1, it has the background to the study, or that you usually call the introduction, right? It also has the statement of the problem, follow nicely, the problem statement. And then it has got those research objectives. These are key things, research objectives. And then from there, it has justification of the study. Justification of the study. Once you justify the study, okay, I'm just highlighting the key things, the very, very important things. Then you can cross over to chapter 2, which has literature review, where you are reviewing both theoretical and the empirical literature. Once you do that, then you can come to chapter 3, where there is methodology. Now, on this methodology part, this is where you deal with the issues such as the research design. I'll talk about that data collection, how data will be collected, how data will be analyzed in your research. So those are some of the key things that come out in your research when you're presenting, especially the research proposal. And of course, you're at your level, you're just focusing on the research proposal part of it. Yeah, of course, I've omitted some of the small areas. I've just highlighted the key themes. Now, what point am I driving at? The point that I'm trying to show is that one, I showed you how to write the background to the study, and you should be able to apply that even in an exam whenever the question comes. Then I showed you how to write a problem statement, right? A research problem statement. Finally, I showed you we were discussing how we put the research objectives. The only thing that I haven't commented on that I need to comment on right now is the justification of the study. What points did you bring out now when you go to the justification of the study? But before we get there, after the research objectives, what follows is research questions, right? The research questions or research hypotheses, these are just a mirror of the research objectives. You get it, right? You just phrase the objectives as questions. For example, you had the first objective to identify what? Was it identifying challenges? Then you could phrase that as a question. What are the challenges? You get that? You get what I mean, eh? The other one was to assess the effect. You can say, what is the effect? You know, or what are they, whatever. So you phrase them as questions, the same objectives, actually. So that's what happens to the research objectives. And then now I'm on justification of the study. How do you write a justification of the study? The following are the key points. Show how your study will contribute to literature. And this would read as follow. It would read as one, the study will contribute to literature, all right, as there is insufficient or scant literature in this particular area, or the literature available cannot be generalized to this same context. Okay, so these are key points. Your study is going to contribute to literature. Two, how is your study going to contribute? Your study is going to contribute to methodology, you know, methodological contribution, or maybe to theory, right? Are you going to add to the methodology? This is where you are now going to apply different methods than to those that were already applied to those others who applied, you know, who did these related studies in the same area. What methods were they using? What new method are you going to use? So if you're going to use new methods, then, or not really new, different methods, then you can say it is going to contribute to the methodology. And finally, you can say your study may, and we usually use the word may inform policy. These are key points that come. May inform what? Policy. And when we say may inform policy, why don't we say will inform policy? Because we are not sure whether the people that we are writing to are going to use our results. So we are not certain. That's why we use the word may. It may inform policy. That is if the policymakers choose to use our information, they may benefit to that, to the same information, basically. So these are some of the key, contributions. You could also say it will contribute to theoretical literature. That is if you are sure that it will contribute to theory. So these are four key points when it comes to justification of the study. Why do we need your study? So our study is needed, my study is needed because it will, you are certain, contribute to literature. There is a scant literature in this area to the best, at least to the best knowledge of the researcher, or to the researcher's knowledge, at least, as far as the researcher knows, there is a scant literature. It will add to methodology, it will add to theory, and it may inform policy. So this is how you write or you justify your study. So we have tackled most of the key areas or parts of chapter 1 of what's this? What's that? The research proposal. Okay. So what we are going to do now in the next class, what I want to do is to give you examples. You see how it is written. I know the reason why I'm approaching this course like this is because if you understand it from this explanation point of view, you can answer almost any question. You can answer almost any question. So when we are away from chapter 1, when you start literature review, that's when these questions will make sense, right? Which questions? This question, like for example, question 2, you've seen it, eh? Analyzing literature review. So these will make point there. Then this one falls under methodology. You've seen it, eh? Data collection, how to collect data. We'll talk about it when we get to methodology. So that is how it is to be approached. Any questions?